The Legend of Atlantis. So, Atlantis has been known for the past several hundred years the perfect society, this sort of picturesque world that every person wants to live in. And it was. It was a very, very beautiful, perfect, smart, self-surviving society that was legendary throughout the world in any time period. So Atlantis, no one really knows exactly how this civilization got here. They were in a random island off the coast of who knows where, and they were self-surviving. Like, these people, these Atlanteans, they were geniuses. They were smart. They were healthy. They learned the ways of the world before the rest of the world did. The Atlanteans, the people that lived there, were sort of the Olympians of the world. Like, they were the smartest people there. They were the greatest people there at this, that, and the other thing. And they were perfect. So, throughout the centuries of living in Atlantis, these scholars, these people that learning the ways of the world, they discovered something. The gods that the Atlanteans worshipped, they knew that Atlantis was this all-powerful society, that they were very smart, they were very religious, they strongly believed in the gods that they worshipped. They knew that. They knew that Atlantis could help them. They knew that they could easily help Atlantis. So what the gods decided to do, they decided to give them a power source. This power source was nothing like the world has ever seen before, and probably will never see again, in the near distant future at least. So this power source came to Atlantis in the form of a crystal. This crystal, it had a bluish turquoise-ish tint to it, if that is important in any way, shape, or form. But this power source, it had non-human powers. It had unreal powers that were unknown to the human mind and to any mind that will ever be known of it. So this crystal, it was able to separate itself. It was able to multiply. It gave every Atlantean the powers of this crystal. So this crystal, it was amazing. It had several different powers. It could heal. It could stop people from aging. That's why the Atlanteans survived for so long, because they just didn't die. They lived till several hundred years old without dying because of this almighty crystal. And that's why there weren't that many kings of Atlantis throughout the centuries, because they just did not die. The kings lasted forever, and there was no reason for a new king, because this society, they coalesced so well with each other that there was no wars, there was no battles, it was just peace all the time. And that's what also gave them the opportunities to learn more, to create more things. That's why their society was so advanced even to our society now. But this crystal, not everyone agreed with this crystal. So the last king of Atlantis, he had a son and a daughter. So his son was about 25 years old and at the time of the great tragedy, and his daughter was about 8. So the son didn't always agree with the crystal. He thought there was more to the crystal. He was one of the more outrageous thinkers in Atlantis. He always wanted more. He thought there was something better than perfect. He thought there was something better than the perfect Atlantean society, and he was willing to go after it. So one day, in just a normal old day in Atlantis, the prince was out for a walk, and in the sky he saw a bright, shiny, neon green meteor coming down towards the open fields of Atlantis. He went towards it, and he found in this amazing, crazy meteor a power source. He found a sort of alien-ish power source that he thought rivaled the power of Atlantis. So immediately he brought it to his father, the king of Atlantis, and his sister, the princess of Atlantis, and the father was scared. The king, he was scared. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't want anything to ruin his perfect society, unlike any of the other kings that came before him. So he outlawed this new power source. He completely got rid of it. He didn't want anything to do with it. It was different. It was too much change. He wanted it out of Atlantis. The sun didn't necessarily agree. So this power source that came through the meteorite to the sun, it gave him also special powers, such as the power to live forever, the power to bring back lives from the dead. That was the scary one. And the power to trap other people's life matter, their soul. As you could probably guess, that was not very good for Atlantis. So when this power source was outlawed by the king, the sun was outraged. He completely flipped out. He left Atlantis in the main palace, and he vowed for revenge when he would come back. About a week later, the sun came back with an army of the dead. As you could probably guess, the Atlanteans weren't very happy with him. They brought out their own army, the Atlantean army, which of course was super all-powerful. It never had to be used, but it was there with super amazing technology that could defeat any army today. It was amazing. And so a great battle went about. The battle for Atlantis began. It lasted 3 months' time until both parties decided it was enough. They decided it was going to end, one way or another. A final battle happened at the palace of the king in Atlantis. And it happened. It went on for 3 days. And at the end, it was a stalemate in the end. The Atlantean gods were furious that this battle took forth. They thought that their power source was being wasted for this mindless battle over Atlantis. So what did the Atlanteans gods do? They sent a tidal wave to cover Atlantis and sink it to the bottom of the ocean. And that is how Atlantis sunk. The Atlantean gods were mad. The battle did not end, so they ended it for them. Some people still say that the Atlantean prince with the crazy power source to raise people from the dead and capture other people's souls in it still walks on the bottom of the ocean, still searching for his father who refused to bring about the power source to its full potential. It's quite an interesting story. I hope to find out more.